All right. So, this is not the way I wanted to come back to the channel. I had the videos planned, but something crazy happened today. So, and the last time this happened, I wanted to do a video like this. All right, and that was the first Trump attempt. But I didn't want to do it because, to be honest, I hate doing overtly political videos. It's one thing doing culture war videos, black trope stuff, you know, but it's another thing just doing red team, blue team videos. It's just kind of a soul draining thing. If I talk about politics, I'm either going to get really mad or I'm going to get really depressed because that's just the way politics does. But today, well, Charlie Kirk, big right-wing political commentator, he was basically assassinated. That's essentially what happened. Very political style, you know, shooter, unknown location, you know, sniper, and it was crazy. You know, I've seen the video. The video is crazy. And I grew up during the wild, wild west of the internet, you know, live leak, you know, and faces of death and all kind of stuff. Like I done seen some stuff, but that one, man, like that was kind of crazy. That's up there. And the thing is, we kind of have to talk about the political radicalization of America. And I didn't say one side or the other because it's not a one side or the other issue. It's not a right wing or a left wing issue. It's a right wing and a left wing issue. Okay, all right, and that comes from somebody who used to be considered to be alt-right. I was Tea Party long ago, okay? All right, many moons ago, your boy was in the Tea Party for the most part. Now the Overton window of the right has moved so far beyond me that I have right-wing friends that consider me to be an establishment Republican. You know, some people say I have TDS because, you know, to be in MAGA, you have to agree with the God King 1,000%. And if you don't, then, you know, you're an establishment Republican. But I do still consider myself conservative. I am still on the right for the most part. I just disagree with how far things have gotten on the right. But the thing is, the political radicalization is on both ends. You know, it goes all the way back to, you know, what happened with Brett Weinstein and what was it, Greenvale University? Ho ho! These racist teachers have got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! These racist teachers have got to go! Hey hey! Teachers have got to go!
That's how whiteness works. Whiteness is the most violent fucking system to ever breathe.
Got to go! Hey hey! Ho ho! Whatever that university he was at back then, back in 2017, where, you know, essentially there was some kind of race, like some kind of woke race thing where they were like all the white people didn't, you know, they didn't have to come to school or they had to stay at home or whatever, and only the black kids were at school or something to that extent. It was some weird thing that was happening with that. And I think they changed it at the last minute, and then Brett didn't want to correspond with whatever they wanted him to do. And so he came to school to do his job, and then they basically would not allow him and the other administrators to leave. That was essentially political violence. They essentially kidnapped these people. They wouldn't let them leave. Then, of course, that same year was Unite the Right. We all know what happened with that. You know, I mean, the political radicalization has gotten crazy. And every time the left, you know, radicalizes, the right also radicalizes. All right. And the radical sides of these two political parties feed each other. All right. Because whenever a right-wing person says something inflammatory.
And whatever you think of my opinions, that's going to be something that puts you in danger. Yeah.
You're the true nonviolent protesters.
I'm not even saying we're nonviolent. I'm saying that we didn't aggress. We did not initiate force against anybody. We're not nonviolent. We'll fucking kill these people if we have to.
Asking you to trust me. You want this done right or you want it done quickly? Because
just do it quickly. Right is created in an apparatus that the people that are doing wrong have designed. You're not going to psyop me into thinking that I need to play by the rules created by the ones who are my enemy.
Death is the only remedy for what's in that building. Well, you need to stand up and you need to scrap. Everybody in there is a treasonous traitor.
I'll put it this way. Should Democrats be in jail? No question. When Donald Trump gets elected, should he start locking them up? No question. Should there be lists of Democrats that need to go to jail? 100%. And the reason for that is they've committed crimes.
Not just jail, they should get the death penalty. You know, we actually used to have the punishment for treason in this country.
Embarrassing.
It radicalizes people on the left because they go, oh my goodness, they really are turning into fascists. I gotta do this. And so then every time a left-wing person says something inflammatory,
conservatives have been disgusting for years, which is why I don't give a fuck about anybody that winds up at any of these rallies and gets shot or whatever the fuck, okay? Because they had no problem making fun of Paul Pelosi. The entire world would be better off if these people were permanently removed from these platforms. Like, there is no downside and only upside to see people like Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, Tim Pool never be allowed to publicly broadcast their opinions ever again.
We are living in the belly of the beast. We have direct geographical, physical access to the politicians, the propagandists. Protesting is great. We should keep doing that. But also, it's time to escalate. That's all I'm saying.
You see anybody from that cabinet in a restaurant, in a department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd. And you push back on them. And you tell them they're not welcome.
No, we gotta, the moment is clear. You gotta sick like the ACP guys on him. Okay, that's it. You gotta get one of those like Has al Dink type motherfuckers to just like eat his ass.
Brother,
it radicalizes the right. I already saw Civil War trending already. All right, it's only been what at this recording, it's been what, a couple of hours. And there's already Civil War, open carry, blah, blah, blah. Like, we need to turn down the temperature on politics. All right? You know what I'm saying? And, like, some things, you just can't let things go this far. Like, I know people hate, like, moderates. Right? I know this is going to be kind of a rambly video because this isn't remotely scripted. All right? You know, but I know people hate moderates. All right? You know, but moderacy is the thing that we need now. We need moderates. All right? That's the thing. All right? No more radicals. No more... you know what I'm saying? We got to own the libs or we got to own the chuds. I mean, sometimes it's a good time to own the libs or whatever. I get that, but you have to moderate now. All right? We've seen 2 presidential assassination attempts. We've seen 1 political pundit get shot. You know what I'm saying? How many more people need to get taken down? How many more people need to well, I don't know what I can say on YouTube. You know, but how much more of this needs to happen before we realize that we got to come back to the middle? All right. I understand that everybody has their political beliefs. I got my political beliefs, but I was willing to simmer down. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm getting old. Maybe that's what it is. But the fact is, we need moderacy, okay? Like, it's crazy, all right? It's been 10 or so years now of tit-for-tat politics has gotten us to this point, all right? And eventually, somebody's going to have to back down. Otherwise, you know, the whole thing flies off a cliff. You know, and I know that you don't want to back down. I understand that. I understand that completely. Because there are some things when it comes to the left I don't want to back down on. But you know what? It is what it is. Because, again, you don't want things to end up like this. You know? Nobody actually wants a civil war. Even the brain-rotted Twitter-rotty that call for this stuff all the time. All right? Because this is the stuff that happens in civil wars. Honestly, the Spanish Civil War started similar to this. All right? With people getting assassinated. And then it spurs things on. And guess what? More than likely, there will be something from the right. Somebody is going to be like, I'm going to get revenge. And next thing you know, it continues to spiral. It continues to snowball. One thing I will have to say, though, is I'll probably step away from social media a little bit. I mean, I'm still going to do videos, but, like, Twitter and a lot of these other social media platforms do not help. And they do not help at all. All right, it was so much misinformation on Twitter. Like, there was one person that said he was stable. And I was like, what? Did you not see what I saw? Like, is he stable like in the upper room? Is that what you're talking about? Like, you know, is he stable on the ground? Like, I don't know what kind of version of stable do you mean, sir? You know, and then not to mention the celebrations, bro. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm edgy as edgy can be, all right, but I'm usually edgy to make people laugh, you know, and I understand the edgy part of internet politics, but people were literally celebrating, yo. All right, people was like, "Oh, I'm smoking the Charlie pack," and all this other kind of stuff. I think, and it's gotten the internet. That internet mentality has gotten into real life because I think they did a moment of silence on the Senate floor, and I think somebody tried to interrupt the moment of silence, and I'm like, hold on now, if you on the Senate floor, you way too old for this. All right, it's understandable for like you know people on the internet to be doing this. If you have a real government job and politics, and you doing stuff like this, you need to be up out of there. All right, that's another thing. These extremists in the political system, they gotta get voted out. I don't care how much you like them. I don't care how much they fit your political viewpoint. Like some of these extreme people, you gotta vote them out because they also push this. They're accelerationists. Okay, and they push the extreme rhetoric because guess what? That's what got them elected, and it's gonna get other people like them elected because that's what they want to do. All right, and it's on both sides. It's not just on the right. It's not just on the left. It's also on the right. But we need to stop the extremism. We need to stop the extremist rhetoric, the extremist viewpoints. Challenge them. We need to challenge extremist viewpoints. All right, because I mean, if we don't, it's just gonna continue to snowball. All right, we're just going to continue to snowball. I know it's hard because, I mean, you know, extremists, they could be your friends. It could be somebody you like. You know what I'm saying? It could be people on your side. All right. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, I've had to, not on video, not on YouTube or whatever, but like in just my regular social media life, I've had to challenge people on my own side. You know what I'm saying? I'd be like, no, man, that's not the way it goes. Like, we're supposed to be the side of law and order. Remember the party of law and order? That was the thing. That was the big campaign thing. How are we going to be the side of law and order if you think stuff like this? Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, how can we say we're pro freedom of speech if we're willing to deport people because they've said things that we don't like? I can understand if they committed a crime. If they committed a crime, you're up out of here. I get you. But if they haven't, you know what I'm saying? That's basically deporting them for free speech. We can't say that we're for free speech and then deport people for free speech. You know what I'm saying? The trans gun thing. How are we gonna be like, oh yeah, you know what I'm saying? What is it? It shall not be infringed. Shall not be infringed. That's the big thing. That's in the Constitution. What is the first thing happen? Oh, it shall not be infringed except. That's not a thing. No, there's no asterisks, okay? It just shall not be infringed. Sometimes you got to challenge those beliefs, man. You got to challenge extremism. It's not easy. It's not going to be easy, but moderacy is the way to go right now. Centrism is what we need. So, to be honest, I don't really know what I want to say here with this video because I honestly was working on something completely different. But I do think that it's time for a call for moderacy and centrism. All right, it's important. We got to get back to the middle. You can still be on your side because I'm always going to be on the right. I understand and empathize with the left sometimes. All right, as much as they'll empathize with me because most of them probably don't like me either. But you know what I'm saying? I'll always be over here, but stay in the middle over here. If you're on the left, try to come back toward the middle a little bit. It's hard. They're not going to like you because nobody likes a centrist. But it's what we got to do. So, that's about it. I got a big video coming. I know I haven't done videos over here, mainly because I've been trying to get the main channel up and going again. And trying to balance the two has been hard. But I got y'all. I ain't forgot y'all. So,